So in this video, I want to have a discussion, and this isn't my opinion per se, but more just looking at different angles. So it's more about asking a question and then looking at it through different lenses of what could happen, what may happen, and then sitting there and then having the discussion of what is the most likely scenario. And that's why it's the question of, is Albedo disloyal or too loyal? Because of the fact of what she intends to do and follow through with. So to give context, she has this secret unit called the Albedo secret unit that is designed to look for other players out there or other supreme beings. It's a search party per se. Her mission or job is to verify information, leaks, rumors, etc. about other potential people out there, and this has been stemmed from, of course, Foresight going in there and one of the particular party members bringing up, being in contact with one of the supreme beings, and that very much angered Irons a lot, which allowed Albedo to start this idea of looking and verifying information. And this known members are herself, Pandora's actor, and then Roberto, and then there's of course some other fodder units in there that are more just summoned to do the bidding of those very particularly, again, to follow through with Albedo's plan. So Irons only knows part of the plan, which is the search party component, and then any information would then be, technically in his eyes, would be then reported back to him to do as he sees fit. But Albedo has shown in secret that she has a great displeasure for the other supreme beings and finds them to be disloyal to Momon. She doesn't really like him picking up the name Irons. She likes Momon and uses the flag only in her room because she is very dissatisfied with the other supreme beings because she feels that they have betrayed them and Momon. So her intentions are to actually eliminate any and all possible opposition, even if they aren't really opposition. And so the question comes down to, if Irons was to find out this, would he be very, very upset, and would he feel betrayed? Because if you use the argument of, no, it isn't betrayal, well, let's use a counter argument to that. When Sebas was doing what he felt was necessary, which was of course protecting and saving a particular girl, and Solution felt that was betrayal because he kept it away from Irons' knowledge and didn't put it in the reporting, and Irons was very dissatisfied and thought that maybe Sebas had betrayed, which is why he went through all the precautions that he did when testing Sebas, which of course Irons kind of had the idea that it was because of how he was created, and it wasn't betrayal, it was just how he was built. But in Solution's eyes, she saw that as betrayal because, one, he didn't report it, and two, it went directly against what Irons said. Irons said, do this stuff, and that was it. Even though Sebas had the counter argument of think for yourself kind of thing that Irons was putting forward, Solution still felt that was betrayal. And some people could argue that it was betrayal, and some people could argue it wasn't betrayal. There really isn't a perfect answer, and it's the same for this as well, because there are other little arguments that you could also use for defending Albedo's secret unit, because as we all have kind of theorized, is that the NPCs have been imprinted from their creators. For example, Pandora's actor is very much imprinted from Momon. You've got Demiurge, very much heavily imprinted. Sebas, that's why they bicker. And then of course you've got Aurora, Mara, Cocytus, Shaltir, very, very heavily imprinted from their creators. That's the point that I'm getting across. But then when you look at Albedo, technically, if you want to be really technical, she has technically two creators. She has her original creator that made her from the ground up, and then you technically have Momon, who's technically partially her creator because he's tinkered with it. And so you could, and I'm not saying this is the definitive answer that you should have or opinion, but you could argue that Irons is partially a creator for Albedo. So the argument could be is, what if, again, it's a what if, Momon has partially imprinted on Albedo, and because of there's two imprints and a change in the description, it has kind of warped her personality into being very much strongly loyal towards Irons, or Momon, and very much wanting to remove any of the other supreme beings. And this might be a warped personality from Ainz's imprint, because he feels kind of lonely and feels a little bit betrayed that the others left him in the game to just kind of be there on his own. And I mean, he was kind of on his own in that guild for a really long time. He maintained it, he kept everything going, he farmed out the necessary gold to maintain the costs to run that complex or building, establishment, whatever you want to call it, tomb. And that would have cost a lot of money and a lot of time. And so there could be some frustration deep embedded in him that has imprinted on Albedo. And maybe, again, it's a what if, that it's kind of warped her personality. And so she has become very much vindictive against the other supreme beings, and she's used this opportunity to create this secret unit to go look for them, to remove them. Now again, as I said at the start of the video, you don't have to have this opinion. I'm merely just bringing up a discussion point because I think it's fascinating and interesting to have this discussion and look at the different angles of being like, oh well, no, she's not disloyal, she's just being very protective, or yes, she is being disloyal. I don't believe there is a correct answer, but just many different ways you could go about looking at this. And I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts on this? I would love to see another supreme being out there and see how they would respond, but I feel like it would be best as kind of like a what if scenario kind of volume of one did stay behind and then ended up being found out, lost somewhere out there, and Ainz ended up helping find them, save them through whatever scenario, and then see what the response is from them, and then also how the other NPCs, or particularly Albedo, would respond to that. Because would she then follow through? Because what she said she intends to do and what she would end up doing are two different things, and how would Ainz respond to that? Would Ainz be very upset, or would he be okay with it? I don't think, personally, again, I did say I'd keep my opinion out, but I just don't personally think Ainz would be that very happy if she did end up killing his friends, because he still feels very sentimental. Maybe he is frustrated, and that's the thing, he's frustrated, but he sometimes vents his frustration but doesn't really hate it. He just, it's that moment where you get a little bit angry, you're like, damn, you know, this kind of situation, and then later on you're like, you don't blame them, you kind of understand, but you're still a little bit ticked off. Again, love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Where do you stand on this? Do you even think Pandora's actor would follow through on it as well? Because, again, Pandora's actor is heavily imprinted on by Ainz as well. So, would Ainz approve of it? Would Pandora's actor approve on it? How will Albedo go about it? What would happen if she ended up getting that action out and then all the responses? And especially, not just Ainz's response, but imagine if it was, say, Sebas's creator, or Demiurge's creator, or Shoutir's creator, or the twins' creator, or any other creator out there. How would they respond? Because again, it's just a what if scenario. So again, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more anime content, and I will see you beautiful nerds in the next video.